It's time for your
Tuesday tip of the week. So,
what's our tip, Debbie?
Today we've got chicken broth.
Okay.
You could do beef broth too with a lot of what I'm going to say, but how do you use chicken broth?
Many ways. I put it in recipes when it calls for it.
Right.
I put it in my green beans, my canned green beans.
Green beans, yes.
I rinse my canned green beans really good in the sink, and then instead of adding water back, I add either chicken or beef broth.
Yes.
And then let them simmer for 20-30 minutes, and they taste more like fresh.
They do. The chicken broth really does something.
Mm-hmm.
I like to use it instead of putting water in potatoes. When I'm making mashed potatoes,
Yes.
I use chicken broth in mashed potatoes.
Okay.
So that gives a little extra flavor to those mashed potatoes.
That's a great idea.
So there's other things that you can use with chicken broth instead of just putting it in soups, which we always do,
Mm-hmm.
soups or roasts.
Mm-hmm.
Just enhances flavor of any recipe that you're going to, most recipes that you're going to use water, like in your vegetables or meats that you would use water. Instead, use some broth. And also, if you boil chicken or something for a recipe, boil it or fix it on the stovetop, of course, it'd be great to use some chicken broth in it, but it also, your chicken will make broth. Whether you use water or you use the chicken broth, will save that. And you can use that for other recipes too. You can freeze it and save it, hang on to it, and use it for later, just like you would use a box or a can.
Now, back in the day, when grandmother and mama used to boil a whole chicken, you talk about some good broth.
Yes.
That was some good, rich broth.
The skin really gives you some good taste, and the bones too. Because can't you buy something at the grocery store called bone broth?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
And there's a lot of nutrients in that bone broth.
Yeah.
But nowadays most people buy the boneless, skinless breast. Well, you don't get a great amount of broth from the boneless, skinless. Now you do when you if you like the white meat on the chicken breast. If you do the bone in, you do get better broth that way. But when you're boiling any chicken that has bones in it, make sure you strain it good before you use that broth.
That's true. Right.
Because it could have some little bones in it.
Yes. So consider using your chicken broth or your beef broth in other items to up that flavor just a tad.
Yep.
That's your Tuesday tip of the week.